Hi everyone, I hope you guys are having an incredible day. Today is day 12 of our 30 days to emotional mastery. And today we're going to be discussing all about emotional cords, how we create emotional cords and how we can begin to work with that information in our energetic body. In this channel, you're learning a lot about very unique and powerful energetic techniques that allow you to embody your highest expression and begin to shift any kind of blockages that you're living in your life. The purpose of the work that we're doing here together is to begin to embody, to return and to reintegrate ourselves as source, all the fragments that we have into a unified self that is kind of embodying the ability to embody infinite consciousness at all times. So this is a really powerful series that we're doing where we're focusing on emotional mastery. And the purpose of this work that we're doing together is really to begin to liberate you from the confines of belief systems that are causing harm, that are causing blockages, that are causing limitations in your life, not allowing you to move forward. So let me just quickly share this live with everyone. Please do feel free to share if you feel that this brings a lot of good stuff in your life, and I'm really happy to share it with you. Let me just figure out why I cannot share my live as usual. There we go. All right. Okay, we're going to post that. Hi, everyone. LNG, Angelina, so good to see you. Luana, Veronica, GMAC, hello. Cedric, so good to see you. I'm so excited to connect with you again today, guys. I want to thank you once again for all your incredible support throughout this entire challenge. I want to thank you so much for your super chats and, more importantly, these incredible messages that you guys are sending me with your struggles and also your incredible advancements, aha moments, and enlightenments that you guys have been receiving from this challenge so far. I'm really honored to be here on this journey with you, and I'm humbled by just the ability to connect with all of you that are actually doing the work in your life. So let's get started. Hello, Zarelda. Hello, Susanna B. It's so nice to see you guys. All right, let's get started, my loves. Tonight we're going to talk about emotional cords, and I wanted to choose this topic as a segue from everything that we've been talking to up until now, because a lot of people are writing me about how they are receiving and they are identifying in their body as they do the work cords that are stagnating and connecting and sometimes feel like it's blocking the life force through their body. So what are emotional cords? Emotional cords are any time that we put meaning, apply meaning into an experience, which an experience is an energetic exchange. Now, depending on how aware we are, how much we are in charge of owning our space, the exchange that we experience will either enhance us and help us grow our light, or it will deplete us. Okay, so every exchange is either an opportunity for us to hold our space and enhance and grow, or to become depleted. And sometimes we are exchanging with very expansive energy or contractive energy, which is either parasitic or it is creative. It is a more creative life force. So the idea is to begin to, as you wake up in the morning and go throughout your day, to begin to just become really aware of the kind of quality of the exchanges that you're having in your everyday life. And this is really important because every exchange that we have is actually creating on the non-physical realm. Every single intention that we put into the collective field is actually building structures that create, not only enhance our genetic code, it writes another line of code in your entire system, in your holographic system, in the record keeper of experiences, But on the higher level, we are creating infinite timelines as a result of the intentions that we're inputting into the hologram. So imagine that your everyday life is this input simulated hologram system, that every emotion that you feel sends signals to the system for you to align and to open up the runways for you to connect with timelines that match this energetic vibrational frequency. And all of these timelines that become available to you based simply on your intention are timelines that you can potentially take in order to begin to either enhance your life or to go in a creative direction. We are choosing between creation and counter creation. Energetic emotional cords that we create with people are the timelines that have crystallized into the physical form, and they are crystallized by the density of emotion that we input into that system. So if the exchange with someone becomes very, let's say, a lot of fighting or yelling or some strong emotions, we are literally lowering the vibrational frequency of the channel of communication between ourselves and the other, and becomes crystallized in a way where the energetic density becomes thicker into more of a physical mass of energy. And what happens is that it becomes a dense stagnation of life force that constricts the meridian lines in the physical body. Where this energetic cord, where this emotional cord will connect to your body will be where the thought form is most heavily fed in the body. So let's say, for example, that you connect with someone that triggers an emotion of anger in you. Your liver, for some of us, is the main processing system for this anger. And therefore, it begins to create a lot of survival mechanisms, stress, alerts inside the entire body. But primarily, it is situated here within the liver. So this energetic cord, as you begin to tune in to how you're going to respond to the person that's triggering you, you are going through a file cabinet of previous experiences that are similar to this trigger, and you are pulling from that information in order to respond to what's occurring. So the problem with that is that a lot of our reactions haven't really been reviewed or studied in a present moment. Most of them are just mechanical responses based on survival mechanisms. And usually during moments where we're absolutely not in the physical body, we are just reacting from that survival mechanism. The difference between being in the survival mechanism and in the present moment is that in the present moment, you can review whether any of these previous responses would apply in a way that would be creative for you, yourself as a whole organism, healthy in regards to the emotions that you're feeling and in the way that you're interacting and creating. What you're giving off, what you're putting into the world is something that is creative and enhancing for the collective, as opposed to destructive and restricting for yourself. So this is where being in the present moment, being conscious in your everyday moment, allows you to carefully choose and become mindful, more compassionate and loving of this vessel that is here experiencing this trigger moment. So the moment that we begin to respond mechanically, usually that mechanical exchange is charged with counter-creative energies and frequencies. The intention behind that are usually heavier emotions. Again, these heavy emotions, because of the density, begin to crystallize into a cord, which is a stagnation of life force. And what happens is that this energetic emotional cord that connects you to the person now becomes your resonance experiential agreement between yourself and the other. And this agreement is something that both of you have encountered in a previous lifetime or in a simultaneous timeline. But as an organism, as individual organisms, your resonance is perfectly in alignment to bring you into that moment in order to experience this exchange together. So what that means is that as we are playing out from the higher level, what we're playing out in our everyday life are cyclical karmic contracts. Cyclical karmic contracts means that unless you're in the present moment and aware and actively working with your contractual agreements for repetitive trauma, you are repeating unconsciously and mechanically these experiences in every different possible way. Because our job inherently as this vessel of infinite consciousness is to become aware of itself through infinite potential. But because of the design and the architecture and the nature of your incarnation, you have chosen as this soul to incarnate into this bloodline, the ancestral lineage that is already pre-encoded with cyclical programs that will inform the majority of your perceptions, life experiences, emotional reactions, and even your physical condition. So everything that we are made up of until we wake up from that hypnosis ends up being a cyclical pattern. How to break these patterns is awareness in the present moment. So as we are creating this energetic exchange, this emotional cord, we have to choose in that moment how dense we're going to create this cord. The problem with this cord is that it doesn't go away. It's not just an imagination, and it's not something that will dissolve on its own. In fact, we will go throughout our life collecting many of these cords. And one cord can actually be connected to many people that are in resonance with that same belief and program that is at the root of this charge, of this intention. So how we can work with that is that first, let's talk about how to identify it in the body. When we are looking through our energetic field and we're looking at the sphere around our body for protection, which is not just protection, it is the awareness of our energetic body, we begin to notice holes in our energetic space. These holes are created by these very dense, crystallized, energetic cords, emotional cords that have been fed into by our mechanical responses through our life. And there are certain cords in our body that are heavier than others. The ones that we utilize a lot are the ones that are usually the biggest, thickest, and they do take some time to break because it requires deprogramming and reprogramming of more constructive programs. And the ones that are thinner are usually the ones that are new experiences and things that we haven't quite felt very often. Okay, so we create cords. Now, our entire physical body, if you were to look at yourself in the etheric realm, we look like organisms with cells and cells with nervous systems all around us. It looks as if we have cords connecting all around us. And I presented about this in many other presentations about how the multidimensional body looks, but it's really important to understand that you are interconnected to everything. So when we talk about cutting a cord or disconnecting a cord, it's not occurring in the sense where we are severing and pulling away from something. In fact, what's actually happening is that we are transmuting and we are neutralizing the crystallization of lower density emotional energy that we are holding within our body. And what we want to do is to begin to replace that with something higher and more conscious. And we do so. And of course, because a higher consciousness thought form is a lot higher frequency, it is a lighter frequency, it doesn't hold that kind of density. So some people you might hear, they talk about shrinking it down to a very thin, thin, tiny cord. Well, that's not actually what's happening. What happens is that you're neutralizing the density of the information that's being passed back and forth between yourself and this other. Oftentimes, the heavier the experience with the person, there's usually many layers of emotions that are on top of this root emotion. The root emotion is connected and usually has a very similar way because of our programming. We program ourselves to feel emotions in very certain ways, okay? And these programs, because we've utilized the same way of feeling that emotion all our lives, we've reinforced this pattern of emotional I guess you can say it's an order of how we feel the emotions. We continue to input into this cord over and over again. So in order to shift that, we have to get to the bottom layers and begin to dissolve and deprogram these belief systems until we understand the highest frequency of this heavy, dense thought form. And it's very easy because what occurs is that you begin to take back. When these emotional cords are created, we are inputting part of ourselves, our essence, our life force through our intentions into these thought forms. Every single thought form is a life force that is turned into a vibrational frequency that is emanated out in the direction of whoever we are exchanging with. So whatever we are inputting is our life force. And the more unconscious you are in that input, more of your life force is usually directed in that direction because we don't have conscious control about how much we are exchanging. And because these very dense and heavy cords require a lot of physical exertion, energetically, emotionally, and physically even, because when we become agitated, a lot of our body begins to move into, sometimes we sweat, sometimes we scream, we get angry, we can throw things around, many reactions can occur. All of these reactions and these movements of the physical body are frequencies that are adding to the density of the exchange that we're having. So total body awareness, total mindfulness, which is why we see people like monks that are very aware of their physical body. They're aware of every movement. They're aware of every thought, every intention, because everything becomes mindful. Because this is how we preserve life force. It's how we learn to control life force. Without that kind of personal mastery and personal awareness, we are drained excessively of our life force. And over time, we become so depleted that all that takes over is we become a host to these densities, these crystallized lower energetic forms that take up the majority of our physical body. And this is where we end up with imbalances. So you can have liver diseases, you could have cancer, many different things that begin to manifest because of the life force is not managed properly in the multidimensional body. So this is how incredibly important it is to understand emotional cords, because most of the clients that come to me are covered in these cords and blockages that they've never even become aware of. But they are aware of the pain that they're feeling in their body. They're aware of the pattern of suffering that they keep experiencing. They don't understand why they can't move out of the rut that they're in for years, move out of the house that they're in, okay? So this takes me to the next part of the emotional cord topic. Emotional cords aren't only connecting to people, they are also connecting to things. And the reason why is because everything in this world that we think is matter is actually cells and that are oscillating at a certain vibrational frequency in order to create a certain density. And the different variations of frequency to create the different variations of mass, textures, structures that are around us are actually capable of absorbing light, as we know, like color, frequencies, and information. And even though the information won't always affect the structure, the molecular structure of these objects, they do have the ability to hold densities of energy within them. This is why we find haunted houses, haunted things, and why it's advised not to bring antiques or secondhand things into your home, or at least before you clear them or before you tune in to the kind of frequency that this object is carrying. Because, as you know, just the way people are coming into our life for a reason, we are in resonance to things as well that are also in resonance with our vibrational frequency. Okay, so this is the thing that we need to become aware of. If we are incapable of using our intuition for very important things like choosing what we want to have in our space, all of these things are going to cause a lot of suffering for us. And what happens with the people that begin to have lots of objects in their house, antiques, the energy is super, super heavy. It's super thick. And we don't know why we're so tired in our house. We don't know why we have so much, sometimes aches, pain. Sometimes we feel like we can't get forward in life. We can't find the job we need. Everything is just stuck and slow. And this is because we have polluted our energetic space with a lot of emotional things, heavily crystallized, heavy emotional things. And because it's in resonance to us, it is cording into our body and we are draining our life force. So this is where we really have to understand the world of matter, the world of energy. We live in a world of energy, and that the more conscious we become, there's a responsibility and an accountability that we need to take about our exchange. It has to become more mindful with the people and with the things that are around us. There is a Japanese show about interior designing, and this beautiful organizing lady from, I believe it's Japan, excuse me if I'm wrong, but she has this beautiful practice of respecting the objects, connecting with the objects, saying thank you to the objects when we feel that the object has served us and no longer is serving us. We begin to remove it from our space and allow that object to serve someone else. Well, this is the level of awareness that we need to have with our lives and with everything that we're having, so that we can become more mindful and to create harmony for ourselves in our environment. If we have a lot of clutter in our energetic space, in our home, you can be very sure that we have imbalanced emotions. We have endocrine problems, we have nervous system issues, we have heavy blockages in our energetic chakra system. There is a lot that goes into the body, and that a lot of us end up drained and with all kinds of imbalances that are life depleting and even immune suppressing. So this is important to notice, and it has to do with your emotional balance. You won't be able to come into your highest emotional state if you don't understand the exchanges that you're used to having. So this level of awareness, I invite you to take a look at your life and to just become aware of how we are exchanging, the quality of our exchanges, and whether we are mindful in those exchanges or just reacting mechanically to things, okay? So these energetic cords, really important to begin to clear out and maybe make some changes in our living situation so that we can begin to kind of move that out. Anytime that we have objects of people that have passed away as well, there's a lot of emotional charge. And one of the things that I tell my clients is sometimes they like to keep clothing and objects that belong to someone that passed away. And what happens is that they have a very hard time to move forward emotionally. Now, we in our culture, I think universally, we are used to kind of utilizing these objects as memoirs and maintaining them in our energetic space. But in reality, these objects, because they were someone special to us, especially because we're connected to them, we create this emotional cord that is draining life force out of our space. And each one of these objects, in a way, becomes a portal way into the realms of these in-between realms that we are constantly moving in and out of. And the problem with that is because we don't have a lot of awareness about our energetic mastery, energetic hygiene, and we haven't become conscious in our waking state. When we go into dream state, a lot of times we end up going into these realms and we end up staying in those realms, not really able to move beyond that realm because of our level of awareness and because of the environment in the physical. So it's important to begin to honor, pay homage to our ancestors as needed, but to remember that the more clear we keep our energetic space, especially charged with things that bring us joy, enhancement, harmony, this is important, and to move away from any kind of emotional attachments that bring us down, that brings the energy down, that keeps us in the past. Because again, these objects are like portal ways that link us in resonance and kind of lock us in resonance into these past experiences and events. So this is something that most of my clients, when they begin to embody self-love, self-compassion, they naturally choose to remove those objects out of their space in order to make room for something that is more creative and enhancing for them. Okay, so this is something that you can take a look at and see if it's something that you need in your life at some point in order to move forward. So let's continue. Another area of our life in our workspace is if we don't have technology or attachment to television or TV or cell phone, those things have now become an emotional attachment. We have emotional cords with these things, and they become an emotional crutch, especially social media and even televisions or shows can become an emotional crutch in order to distract us from dealing with emotions that we need to deal with, and in order to fulfill aspects of ourselves that are not fulfilled and that we don't understand that we need to fulfill them. So what happens is that energetically, artificial intelligence now, which is your technology, is becoming attached. If you were to look at yourself when you're in front of a camera, a TV or a computer or a phone, and if you extend the time that you're in front of these devices, you would see etherically something that looks like a substance that links to the brain of the body, the heart center of the body, and the root chakra. This is the attachment that connects to the physical body on the etheric realm. It literally connects to the brain, it connects to the heart, and to the root chakra. These are the centers that are heavily manipulated. And of course, between the root and the heart chakra, the emotional body is the one that is mostly targeted by the frequency sounds, the patterns of light, and the vibrational frequencies of the hertz of the sounds that are being specifically designed to stimulate imbalanced emotions within you. So these energetic cords are something that we're having to deal with more and more, and I see them more and more in children nowadays. Children that are in front of their telephone or playing games in front of their computer screens. It's almost as if it's a complete hypnosis that attaches them to the device. And you have to understand that a couple things happen. Emotionally, the child is becoming paralyzed because they are losing the ability to connect with their true emotions and a true connection with themselves. And this true connection with themselves is something that will paralyze their evolution with others in relationships. We have already been experiencing that on a greater scale in our society. If we compare culturally, American society, for example, it's very clear to see that it's very difficult for people to retain relationships, friendships, because we're not usually used to that. We are used to very oftentimes superficial relationships, and over time keep our circles very, very small. In other countries, a lot of times these relationships are cultivated at a very young age, where we are taught and trained to have relationships. And this is something that we need to learn how to connect with others, but not from a place of deep programming, from a place of authenticity and truth and connection to the self, which is something that has not been taught in society until today. So it's something that I invite you to take a look at, all of these balance of your relationships, your work, your home, your time that you're spending in front of the screen, and the time that you spend with yourself, time that you spend in nature, is actually all defining the energetic hygiene that you're maintaining in your physical body. And from the other side of that, we take a look at how the physical body restores really powerfully when it goes into nature. When you go into nature, we begin to connect with the natural rhythms of Earth, which are promoting of life and enhancing the runways and the meridian lines. Immediately they begin to help align the energy runways in the physical body. And we can temporarily lessen the effects of these emotional cords by going into nature. If you end up staying in nature all the time, then those cords will eventually dissolve. But since most of us won't be spending a lot of time, that much time in nature, we need to do our energetic hygiene here in our everyday, very busy lives that we all lead. Okay, so it's important to focus on that. All right, so let's get started. In this meditation, we're going to begin to work on these energetic cords in our physical body. Okay, we're going to start by inhaling deeply. And exhaling. So you're going to begin to ground yourself down to the center of the earth. You're going to visualize now around your body, owning your space by creating a field around your body. Okay. And as you create this field around your body, go ahead and tune in. Take a look at where it's difficult to imagine that field around you. Where your bubble is open, torn, distorted. And you're going to begin to tune in to the areas of your energetic field that feel distorted. Okay. And we're going to start tuning into our intuition now. As you begin to tune into these areas that are distorted and dense, perhaps you're going to feel heat in those open areas. Perhaps you're going to feel heaviness, stagnation. Maybe the pain in your body will flare up. Just focus on what your body feels as you tune into these areas that often will look darker, dimmer, hard to see, blurry, disconnected. These are the areas that are holding these emotional cords. So today we're going to read them. And I want you to focus on one of these openings, one of these cords in the body. Breathing deeply. Okay. And as you begin to tune in to that open space around your physical body, now, even if you've been working on training to keep your field closed, I want you to tune in, and if you have, your field might be perfectly intact, but I want you to still focus on the parts of the body that feel heavy. Okay, so this is going to the next level of your practice now. Okay, so go ahead and focus on those areas that feel more dense, in which these holes were or are. And tune into the density, to that heaviness in your space. And go ahead and sit in silence, in complete stillness, and connect with that space. Connect with that cord for a moment. Be present with that cord, and I want you to tune in to the emotions that are there in that space. Okay, tune into the cord in your body. And as you focus on that density in that part of your body, the cord will become more and more clear. Almost as if you're lifting a fog, you begin to see it more clear. You begin to feel the sensations of the cord, the locations of the body that are attached to this cord. You begin to notice that it actually sprawls around the body, not just in that one point of your body, but many other points around that part of the body. You begin to notice the connection to the chakra system, to the organs. And just study for a moment the connections and the sensations that you feel here. We're going to start tuning into the emotional aspect now as we begin to focus on the emotion that is there. And at first, it might feel like a discomfort, like a physical discomfort. As you focus and sit with that physical discomfort, you will begin to get clarity on the emotions that are trapped within that physical discomfort. Okay, so as soon as the emotions start coming up, just name them out. And you'll begin to get pictures, what these emotional memories are linked to. You will be able to get a sense as to what you are connected or who you are connecting to through this cord. Go ahead and take a look at that. As your picture becomes clearer and clearer, you begin to realize that this cord is connecting to someone or something very specific. I want you to take yourself there to that memory that is trapped within this cord. This is the origin point of this memory. And as you begin to tune in to that emotion in that space, locate that emotion in the body. Where in the body do you feel the emotions that are rising as you tune in to this memory? And even if the memory is not clear, the emotions might feel faint. I want you to just pay attention to, as you acknowledge everything that you start to feel, it begins to dissipate. I want you to select one of these emotions that you feel the strongest, that is trapped within this emotional cord. And I want you to take yourself back to the very first time that you felt this emotion. Take yourself back. And the images that you might be seeing or the memories that you might be tuning in might feel abstract. Just notice if you need to zoom out and take a look at a broader vision of what you're experiencing. Taking your time to observe. Take a look at yourself in those memories and just observe the emotions that you're feeling in that moment, the thoughts and the perceptions that are being formed by these experiences. And just maybe taking a look and seeing if there's another way of perceiving this experience that can be more creative for you, more enhancing, more harmonious. Feeling the emotions that are still coming up. I want you to take yourself back to the very first time that you felt these emotions, these heavy emotions. And see yourself in those experiences. Begin to observe yourself in these memories. As you begin to identify what is occurring, what is causing and triggering the emotion that you feel in that moment. Why do you feel the way that you feel in that moment? And ask yourself what you need in order to not feel this dense emotion. What do you need? What would be the opposite of that emotion? Something that is more enhancing for you. Take a look at yourself in that moment. Connect with yourself and ask yourself what you need in that moment to help you navigate this situation in a way that is more productive for yourself. Breathing deeply. So I want you to see all the parts of you in your life that have experienced this similar experience that is trapped here within this energetic emotional memory. And I just want you to see all of your fragments in front of you and just intuitively provide them what they need in that moment to help them navigate that experience in a way that is more creative for themselves, more healthy, more harmonious. What do they need from themselves in order to embody their highest expression? And immediately, as you begin to identify that and provide it for these fragments of yourself, you're going to immediately begin to feel a shift in that energetic cord attached to your body. And this is where things begin to really change and shift for you. Okay, so as you begin to notice that shifting in the physical body, I want you to see that cord connecting to them, and you're going to see this cord within you, and I want you to pull out all the stagnation, all this crystallized, heavy vibrational, emotional memory that you have been holding on to, and I want you to let it go out of your body, neutralizing neutralizing everything that you no longer serves you from this exchange. And as you begin to do that, you're going to bring white source light into the body, and I want you to feed it into that part of your body. Bring white source light, and you're going to feed it into that part of the body, healing, neutralizing all of the heaviness that is stagnant within all the different organs, the layers of the body that are holding on to that memory of this one emotional cord. As you do this, the cord will begin to dissolve and neutralize into a neutral exchange. Okay, so who are you connecting to? The person that is involved in this memory, I want you to see them in front of you. This is who you're connected to. I want you to see why you're connected to them. And now that you've identified the emotional root that is providing the resonance to unite you to have these experiences, I want you to notice how much of a important emotion is this in this person's life. Observe them. More than likely, you will have many other experiences with them as somebody that you're quite familiar with. And as you begin to review them intuitively, you begin to see that this is something that is an inherited program that goes down the centuries. Okay, and this is where you can begin to see and have an opportunity to do grid work on Earth. Remember that just as we are an interconnected organism of consciousness, we are the parts and the cells that participate in the organism of consciousness that is Earth. And Earth also has networks and cords of energy that interlink it with all the conscious organisms that participate in this human experience. So as you begin to observe the ancestral lineage that's connected to the person that you're interacting with, wherever they are from, their origin is where these cords are going to be rooted on Earth, on the planet Earth. So you're going to see, for example, let's say it was an aunt or a sister. Their ancestral lineage, let's say, connects to England, connects to Africa, connects to China, and all of those cords, because you have ancestors in these different countries, are rooted into the land. The programs originated in these spaces through history. And if you do your research, more than likely you will see how they were input into society in these main grid points on the planet Earth. Okay. And as you uproot these cords from Earth, you begin to clear up the meridian lines of Earth, channels of thought forms and programs that are embedded in the Akashic system that are feeding into our collective whole. So uproot those cords, breathe in deeply, taking back your life force from all of these ancestral lineages that you have inherited your belief systems from. And I want you to release from your body everything that you took on that you don't need to take on from these ancestral lineages, okay? As you begin to clear that out, you're going to begin to feel lighter, and your body and you will be able to feel more grounded in your physical body. So begin to clear these out as you neutralize these cords and all of the fragments of yourself that have healed from that memory. I want you to inhale and bring it back into your physical body. Notice that those fragments have become lighter, illuminated, happier, freer. This is a reflection of your true self. We talked about the true self yesterday. Little by little, we are reminding ourselves who we really are by the reintegration of programming, false programming, into truth. And truth is always what is whole, what is harmonious, healthiest, and it's inclusive of the shadow and the light. It's all of it. It's both sides. We have to see all sides. And so this is our ability to heal the body. So as you begin to feel that integration entering into the body, I want you to check back into the part of the body that was holding on to these thick cords, and see if you feel that heaviness in that part of the body still. Take a look at it. Okay, very good. So you will see that a lot of that is already cleared. If any part of that is still there, if you did it right, you will begin to feel that it's definitely more clear. Now, if you still have density in that space, it means that there's other parts of the cords that we haven't cleared out that are connected to other parts of the body. So this is where I would have you continue to review your entire body for more openings, more tears, and see what else you can find. This is basic energetic hygiene. This is not advanced, this is basic. This is something that we should all teach our children, and we should be doing on a daily basis. Because this is kind of how, the way we, for example, go do exercise, we drink lots of water, we eat healthy food, we breathe, and we maintain harmony in our lives. Those are basic things to keep this body healthy, happy, and productive. In that same way, we have to mind our energetic body. And when our energetic body is neglected, all other areas of our life also become neglected, because we cannot utilize and master life force, which is what we are. We are life force. So our first primary education should be on the energetic multidimensional body. So I invite you to continue with this work and to review the physical body where you might be holding on to more cords, and reintegrate and assess them. And go ahead and come back into your body, open your eyes, and I want you to come back into the room. And as you are grounded down to the center of the earth, your entire field is completely protected. With your eyes open, I want you to visualize eliminating all of the stagnation from your day, any kind of heaviness. Visualize clearing out the first layer of your body with your eyes wide open. Okay, you're going to clear out the first layer of your body, almost as if there's a vacuum connected to the bottom of your field, and we're just going to clear out the first layer of the body, all the debris, stagnant emotions, fears, anxieties, doubts, anything blocking our ability to move life force. Go to the second layer now, the sacral body. Go ahead and visualize with your eyes open, clearing the sacral body. Clear it out. Go up into the third layer of your body, the solar plexus. With your eyes open, clear it out. Breathing deeply. Go into your heart chakra, your heart center, your fourth layer of your body. With your eyes open, clear it out. Go up into the throat chakra, the fifth layer of your body. Go ahead and clear that out. Go into the sixth layer of the body. Go ahead and visualize clearing that out with your eyes open. Okay, go up into the seventh layer of your body. Go ahead and visualize clearing that out. Breathing deeply. Okay, you're going to go up to your crown. I want you to activate your crown chakra. Activate the crown. Fill it up with your creative color. With your eyes open, setting the intention that everything that you do from this moment on is in alignment with your highest expression. Consciously, in the present moment, you are choosing to be present. Okay, you're going to go up to your seventh chakra, illuminate the seventh. And you're practicing your double vision here. Your vision is fully present in the physical body, in the physical world, but also aware of the non-physical. You're aware of the 11th dimensional body of your body, going up to the 10th dimension. Eighth, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. And above you is a powerful white light of source. I want you to connect up into that. You're going to bring white light down into your body. As you allow source to move through you with your eyes open, you're going to visualize a pillar of white light through the center core of your body, anchoring down into the center of the earth. And I just want you to notice the difference of how you opened up space in your body, how you reintegrated a fragment of yourself or many fragments of yourself, and maintain this energetic hygiene throughout the entire day. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. You guys are amazing. I want to thank you for all your feedback once again and the amazing work that you're doing. If you guys have any questions at all, put it down in the messages below, and I'd be very happy to answer your questions in our next group. Thank you so much for joining me. Wow, we have a full house tonight. Thank you so much. Cedric, Zarelda, Susanna, Greg, Truth Seeker, JKS, Sioban. So happy you made the live, Sioban. Truth Seeker. Let's see. This is everything I've been looking for so long. Thank you so much. I'm so glad it's helpful. What a powerful explanation. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Sophie, thank you. Plimsoul, this describes me exactly. In a rut. Yep, that's us sometimes. Cynthia, but today we can change. Hello. Plymouth, such a great eye-opening information. Thanks, Geraldine. Blessings to you. Thank you so much for your light and for doing this work. This explains so much. Daniel Ruiz, saludos. I don't bring anything from the ocean into my house. Great, Daniel. That's wonderful. I've been so depressed since my dad passed, and I brought a lot of the family's remaining items home, and I've been so stuck. Wow, Sioban, there you go. I actually was just talking about that. So this is something that, you can consider maybe parting ways with some of these things to kind of open space for you. We need your energetic presence. And that's another thing that I'll talk about later, is how to own your space. When you own your space energetically in your physical body, it begins to radiate out and changes the resonance of the place that you live in. But if there isn't space in your home, it comes like a war. It's like a war. You yourself don't feel comfortable in your own home. So this is something that you can begin to change. John Shane, so good to see you. Geraldine, through these enlightening challenges, I am energy, I am knowing, I am creativity. Yes, you are, John. Amazing. Angie, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Grandmaster UV, thank you so much for your help, Angie. Pono, yes, we are. Luana, thank you so much for being here. You're welcome, everyone. Thank you, TC, much love. Silban, yes, so helpful. Your explanation will make the process of clearing so much easier. I'm so glad. Kariam Pearl, amazing, helps my mind energy open and flow. Love you guys. Have an amazing night, and I will see you tomorrow. Much love. Bye-bye.